This is Mick and the Fat Man, and we're talking life and music from the 60s through to the noughties. Welcome everybody to episode number 3 of Mick and the Fat Man Talking Music. We're coming to you live from the Lakemba Hotel in Sydney, Australia, the last place where you can get Reshers on tap at the bar. I'm here with Mick. G'day Mick, how you going?
I am fine, thanks mate.
Have you got yourself a nice cold Reshers poured there, mate? Yum, 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 yum. Mate, what have you been listening to this week?
This week, it came up at random on my on my phone. I've been listening to "Trouble Waiting to Happen" by Warren Zevon from the album Sentimental Hygiene.
Oh,
lovely song. It's a great album. We'll talk about him one day. He's certainly got a story that's worth hearing. But his marriage had just broken up. His career had rock bottom. The whole damn thing. All because of that demon alcohol. And he wrote a song called "Trouble Waiting to Happen" on this album. And one of the key things about Warren Zevon is his sense of humour. So even you know when life's just kicked him in the guts, he writes a song like this, and the lyrics, great lyrics. He's talking about mailman brought me the Rolling Stone. I read things I didn't know I'd done. Sounded like a lot of fun. Well, I guess I've been bad or something. Trouble waiting to happen. The band, tight as, it's REM. Les Michael Stipe.
really?
Yep. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Well, there you go. Eh?
Oh. When did Detox Mansion come before or after this album?
Same album. It's on Sentimental Hygiene.
It's
yeah.
on Sentimental Hygiene. Oh, okay.
So yeah, so he talks about detox. He talks about detoxing his life, sentimental hygiene.
Oh, okay.
Talks about losing his wife, Crystal. Not losing her because she died, losing because he died.
Yes.
Yeah, his career died.
So what year was that, do you reckon?
87.
That's interesting. Okay, so very interesting. Well, I've been listening to the Tigerlilies and
All right.
Their album Circus Songs. Now, this is one out of left field because a few years ago, we used to go and see a few things at the Sydney Festival, and you know how they have the tents, those permanent tent things they have. I can't remember the name of them now. The Baroque sort of things that they set up in Hyde Park.
The Spiegel tent?
Thank you, the Spiegel tent. And so I got the thing and they said, the Tigerlilies are going to be on, this world-class band, blah, blah, blah. And I said, okay, we'll go and see the Tigerlilies. I never heard of them before, didn't do anything about researching them or anything. We just went along and saw the Tigerlilies. And to say that I was shocked was an understatement because I'd never heard of them. And basically they're sort of this conglomeration of this fellow who has a big beard and big sort of bloke who sings in this falsetto voice, and they sing about prostitutes and death and destruction and all sorts of things like that, and like dead babies and anyway.
And they've got such a nice name.
They do. Such a lovely name. Anyway, I didn't really like the concert at first, but I've been listening to them since, and I quite like them.
I'll have to give that a bit of a whirl.
Have a look at Tigerlilies. They've just got 2 albums out called COVID. COVID-19, where they just sing songs about the one of them's called Cough, I think, where he sneaks up on old people and coughs on them to give them the disease. It's like, I put phlegm all over you.
How bizarre.
It is. So I recommend if you're into something a little bit different, they basically have there's one of the few bands that still play a saw and those sorts of things, and really minimalist music, but the piano accordion and that sort of stuff. So it's sort of circus sounding sort of sound, but weird. Anyway, that's what I've been listening to this week.
Well, no wonder you're drinking more than usual.
It is indeed. So let's move on. What musical gem are you bringing out of the Globite school bag this week, mate?
Well, one of the other things I was listening to has been the song "Mercy Seat" by Nick Cave, and I've been giving that a bit of a run over the last month or two. And so I thought we might talk about Nick Cave's early years, and the album "Tend to Pray" that had "Mercy Seat" on it was out in 1988.
1988. So that's an interesting year. I was looking at 1988 as far as the top 40 something or other go. So we're looking at albums and the top 40 albums. So number one was In Excess, Kick. But oddly enough, in this list of top albums, there's 3 motion pictures: Dirty Dancing, Tour of Duty, which is a TV show, but and then Good Morning Vietnam, which we've looked at other top 40 type lists. I've never seen soundtracks in there up until now, so it's an interesting little thing.
That is interesting about the music that's on soundtracks, because sometimes when you watch a movie, you think, "Wow." You love the movie because the soundtrack is as good as anything. I saw Jojo Rabbit recently.
Oh, yes, so did I.
And they used Bowie's Heroes, but it was the German version, Helden. And I thought, what an awesome use of a song in a soundtrack. But I've surprisingly completely gone off left field here. And what I was going to say is that my son's Down syndrome, so he's special needs, and he's got a musical taste which is just awesome, and I'm just sometimes humbled at the things that he comes out with. As we've been talking to him, and he says, "I know that song, and I know that person," because his entire music appreciation is from soundtracks of movies.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Very interesting. He does have a lot of movies too, doesn't he?
He does indeed. He can tell you. One of the things about Down syndrome is that they're on the spectrum, and his manifests in knowing everything about movies that there is, when they were recorded, whether they're live action or computer generated or cartoon, who starred in them, whether it won an Academy Award, and all sorts of minutiae.
It's interesting. My second cousin is in that show on the ABC, Love on the Spectrum, which is now also on Netflix. So he's right into dinosaurs and knows a lot about them.
Oh, I've seen him.
He's my second cousin.
How cool.
And you remember when he's on the date and he's talking to the poor girl, he's going, "Oh, there's a Stegosaurus and Diptosaurus and Diptosaurus." She's going, "I don't know what you're talking about."
He does.
He does indeed. His favourite location in the world is up at where's the dinosaurs in Queensland?
Winton.
Yeah, he goes up there as very often as he can. Also on the top 40, we've got The Wide World of Sport's 12th Man. So another sort of left field sort of pick. Midnight Oil, Choir Boys, Cheap Trick, and probably one of your favourite albums, which is Momentary Lapse of Reason by Pink Floyd.
Not bad. Not certainly not on the good side of their creative peak.
No, I think it's on the downhill slide.
Yes, definitely.
Whispering Jack by John Farnham. Followed, and also sitting in there is Age of Reason by John Farnham. So
1988 was Johnny's year.
It was his big year. He's been coming back from that ever since, hasn't he?
He's been having farewell tours for the last 33 years.
And another classic was the first album by Tracy Chapman, called Tracy Chapman. But that was when she sort of burst onto the scene.
Is that the one with Fast Car in it?
Fast Car. No, you come kind of up. Yeah, so quite a few interesting albums there. So let's move on. Let's talk a bit about Nick Cave and Tender Prey.
Well, okay, yeah. Look, Nick Cave started with The Birthday Party, which was very much not everybody's cup of tea. A very nihilistic band who played chaos, a lot of jazz-based music on stage. They're a bit like the Velvet Underground in that they're bigger in reputation than they were at the time.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever listened to a Birthday Party album, to be brutally honest with you.
I can help you with that.
Maybe I don't want to.
Yeah. Certainly, it didn't have the push, the professionalism that Nick's later stuff did, and he learned a lot as he went on through his career. But the first couple of years of Nick's solo career after the Birthday Party split up was interesting. Had some absolutely great songs, a lot of blues based things. There's one particular song. He's got some big obsessions in as have we all. He loves Elvis Presley, loves Leonard Cohen. And
Is that where he's? Because he always seems like a bit of a miserable bastard. Is he? Is he an unhappy man?
Nick Cave.
Yeah, has to be, doesn't he? He doesn't write, I'm happy singing on the song, and this is a happy song, and everybody. It's always
That would depress me.
I want to kill things, and I want to stab myself, and that sort of stuff. It's a bit more.
We're going to have to do a bit of me playing Nick Cave stuff for you later.
Oh, okay.
He is a very intelligent man, extremely intelligent. He comes from an academic family. He's a little black with some of the themes.
A little
In his, well, yeah. He certainly does have that reputation. But when you actually listen to what he's done and the quality and the progression of music and the musicians, the Australian musicians and worldwide musicians that he's worked with, and some of the soundtrack work he's done, and all sorts of things.
He'd never do Ebony and Ivory, would he? Like,
Oh God, and thank the Lord for that.
oh, it's got black bits in it, hasn't it? It's Ebony.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that what you're doing there is raising a lot of stereotypes about Nick Cave. And within the Australian music industry, Nick is very, very highly regarded, and has been, and now he's to the point, he's our age, which is a frightening thought, and he's regarded as royalty in the Australian music scene. Everybody looks up to him. He's able to cite some of his work. And he's had. I was having a quick look in Google for a particular book that I used to have about Nick Cave. I couldn't find that book, but I found about 50 others. He's certainly the intellect in his lyrics. It's not just I'm happy I fell in love with a girl and went off and got married type stuff. It's really deep, lots of literary references, lots of wordplay.
More like I'm happy I went off with a girl and I hit her over the head with a rock.
This is not going anywhere, is it? Although that is one particular song on Murder Ballads.
It is. Yes. It is. 'Cause I do have that album.
His sale, despite his being well regarded, he works hard. He works a lot, and because his sales have never been sort of stadium rock sales. He's never going to be listed up there with the Beatles or the Stones as in the top earners of rock music. I mean, I've done my best over the years to try and help there, but I'm just one man. What can I do?
You could buy multiple copies of each album, I guess.
I could have done that. Yes. Yeah. So I'll get on to that straight away.
Distribute them to your friends, perhaps.
Some of his earlier albums, he did Your Funeral, My Trial. Again, pretty black. He did The Firstborn Is Dead, which he has a lot of religious references. Not that he is especially religious per se, but he's fascinated by the impact of religion on people and the way that people in general are obsessive about religion. He's one of his most popular, most famous early songs is a song called Tupelo, which is about Elvis Presley was born in Tupelo.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's one of the few songs in my life where I can remember where I was when I first heard the song.
Where were you?
I was sitting in my lounge room at Penshurst,
yes.
And I was listening to Double J, as it was at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And this song comes on. I'm thinking, what the hell is this? And it played, and then I heard the voice and knew it was Nick Cave. I hadn't heard the song before. I wasn't really into Cave, but heard this song. Just builds, and it's just absolutely awesome with all of these biblical references, sort of intertwined about Elvis Presley and the king was born in Tupelo, and the river floods and so on and so on. And so I raced out as soon as that song was off, finished, up to the record shop to try and buy that record. Yeah. Not like today where you could just go straight on to whatever and listen to it immediately, or iTunes and buy it.
You can go anywhere and listen to it, or you don't even have to buy it off iTunes if you have a subscription. You just get it. Just pay your $12 a month, and you just have any album you like forever.
Absolutely, it's a different world, Trevor.
That's how I was able to listen to, as go back to the last show, where I was able to listen to the Indelible Mercers. I didn't think they'd be there, but sure enough, on Apple, the Indelible Mercers were there, including Have a Bog.
One of the things that we've taken to providing with this podcast is a list of recommended listening.
Yep.
So I'll scope out all of his albums and highlight some particular tracks that people should listen to, and you should have a listen to what's there. I think you'll be impressed, and I think you'll really enjoy it.
I actually do have a Nick Cave playlist that I listen to in my world, but they're actually some of the less more of the ballad style of some of his stuff. So the shipping song and all that sorts of thing.
The ship song. Yep.
Ship song, not the shipping. The shipping song is a different one about him actually doing shipping manifests. And
News reports. Exactly right. He did a later album, and there seems to be a lot of common themes in the things that we talk about. We talk about covers, and every artist who is anywhere near quality has done covers, and it's not just a case of doing somebody else's song. It's adding their own interpretation to songs. He did an album called "Kicking Against the Pricks," which is despite the potential for that to be rude, it's actually a quote from the Bible.
Oh, is that right?
It is, yeah. St. Paul on the road to Damascus, kicking against the pricks, the thorn bushes.
Is that right?
Yeah, there you go, eh?
There you go.
Something new for you.
That religious training has done you well, hasn't it, mate?
Look, I should have been a Jesuit.
You should have been.
The album covers a whole lot of styles. Can you imagine Nick Cave covering "The Carnival Is Over" by the Seekers?
No.
And it is it's a lovely version, very, very sympathetic. What else does he do? Look, one of my personal favourites is he does the Hammer song by sensational Alex Harvey Band from their first album, and it's a powerful song.
I love the version of that live album of the sensational Alex Harvey Band. What an awesome album that is.
It is. It's a wonderful one. And that'll be on the list as well, people to listen to.
Oh, yeah.
Do yourself a favour, in the words of the immortal Molly Meldrum,
yeah.
And have a listen to that. So Nick did that.
Interestingly, when you're talking about the covers, I was looking at buying some new speakers. So I went to Len Wallace Audio in Sydney, which is a big hi-fi audiophile type place, and the album they played was a Johnny Cash album, the part of the American series, as you were talking about. Although they actually played on the 309, which is one of, it's just brilliantly produced, as you know, because who produced that album? The American series.
Oh, Rick Rubin. Yep.
That's right. So beautifully produced, and he just had these speakers there, and he's just putting this song through it. But oddly, on that, and then so. I actually didn't buy any of the speakers from there, but nonetheless, as you know, that the Mercy Seat is an amazing cover from Cave.
From Cash, even.
From Cash of Cave. Is that what
absolutely? Well, the song that you're mentioning is the Mercy Seat, and it's on an album called Tender Prey, and it's probably one of the best Australian pieces of rock music since there was rock music in Australia. The song itself is about the confused thoughts of a man who's on death row waiting to go to the mercy seat is the electric chair, and he's running around in his mind about whether he did the crime, whether he didn't do the crime, why, looking for justification, and it finishes off. The last line is, "And I suppose I told a lie." So he actually did it, and there it goes, and that's the end of it. Really interesting. When you listen to the version, it sounds very, very well put together. It sounds very confused, but almost as if Cave is enunciating the thoughts of this person on death row. But actually, the fact is that Cave was so deep in his heroin habit that Mick Harvey had to take a whole bunch of different versions and slice them together to get a usable version of that song. He did a fantastic job. Mick Harvey was Cave's arranger.
Because if you listen to the song, it is actually it's like his mind is going like 1,000,000 miles an hour, swirling around, and it's like there's 1,000 thoughts going through at any given time. It's just very confused. The song is almost is it confused or is it not confused? But when you listen to the Johnny Cash version, it's just all the words are there. But when you listen to the Cave version, it's really demonstrating the confused mind, and I think probably better illustrates the mind of the person, the state of the mind of the person at the time.
Do you think so? The whole American Records trip is really quite something special. And again, as we were talking, Rick Rubin, a Jewish New York. Not that being Jewish has got anything to do with it, other than he's got the hair, and
That's a lot of hair.
and he's a big bloke, and he's a rap record producer, Run DMC, and music of that nature. And he looks like Hagrid from Harry Potter.
Yeah,
and he took Johnny Cash, who was, his career had been on a downhill slide for a lot of years, and he took him in the late 90s and said, let's do some stuff, and scoured everywhere for songs that would fit into Johnny's vocal range and would fit into his mental attitudes. Cash does a lot of stuff about prisoners' rights, and he's very much live in Folsom Prison, for instance.
Yeah, that's right.
He actually did some time himself early in the piece.
Oh, did he?
And he's, I think, far from merely reciting the words. I actually feel that Cash grabbed the song, really understands it. He enunciates it a whole different way than the way Cave does, but he's very much, I'm a guy here who's on. You're convinced about the way he sings it.
I know the song definitely builds really builds when you listen to the Cash version. But I just sort of remind, just the Cave version sort of gives me the view of the swirling mind of a man whose thoughts are going everywhere, and Cash's interpretation is a different interpretation of where. But I mean, as you said, that maybe that Cave version is more the fact that it was trying to pull a song together out of mayhem at the time.
Yeah, it's really quite unusual. Cave.
We're getting confused with Cash and Cave.
Yes, I'm not really sure here. Look, Cave has never been sort of financially rewarded to the level that he deserves, by the music industry. But and in fact, Jimmy Barnes once praised Cave's album, and Nick said, "Well, look, that's all very well. Why doesn't he cover one of my songs?"
I could do with the dough, man.
I could do with the dough. Exactly right. But can you imagine, in whatever field you've chosen as your life's passion, for your idol, the person that, Johnny Cash has been idolised, and Cave has covered Cash stuff many times over the years, and for your idol to actually pick up one of your songs and do an absolutely awesome version, take the song and make it his own without losing the Nick Cave elements of the song. As Nick Cave said, doesn't matter what anybody else says, Johnny Cash covered my song.
And it's interesting, that whole American series. You watch the gradual decline of Cash's voice as it goes over the albums, and the last album, his voice is it's not feeble, but it lacks a lot of the timbre of even the earlier American series.
Yeah.
And it sort of reminds me of a little bit of the decline of Warren Zevon at his last album, where his voice has declined a bit as well, which I thought was interesting. And he puts this album out, but his voice is, not once again not as great as it used to be. But we can still produce a record. But the decline of it's a beautiful thing to actually say, I've still got value. I can still produce a record. I can still make music for my fans, and people will still buy it. And I think that's a really honourable thing for a musician to do.
I think you're right. That's very profound, Jeff.
I know. Where the hell have I been?
Yeah, good Lord.
Pass that joint with you, mate.
Yeah. So look, that's pretty profound. That's Nick Cave. Nowhere near an exhaustive coverage of his music, but I really would say to people. Many people have said to me, when I say that I absolutely adore Nick Cave, they say, "Oh God, it's all black and it's all horrible." Pretty much what you trotted out there, and some of his stuff is. It's fairly dark, impenetrable stuff, particularly the earlier stuff. But when you listen to his stuff, the effort and the intellect that he puts into his music is quite extraordinary. I saw them live a number of times. And he owns the stage. He prowls it like a caged lion or tiger, is on the stage, sort of hanging out over the crowd and barking, call and response elements from his songs. Interacts with his band. Not just your turn to play this. It's talking and talking about this, that, or the other. An amp might blow up. And he'll incorporate it into the show rather than, quick, do something else. Talks about whatever's happening. It really is. I saw him at the Big Day Out in the early 90s. I saw the first couple of Big Day Outs, and they were awesome shows. Really good opportunity to see lots of bands. I
never went to a Big Day Out. I regret that these days.
Yeah. Look, I think you're right. I saw him at the Showground and Sonic Youth, the big New York headline band. He was so much better. Nick Cave. Nick, for my money, for that particular Big Day Out, 92, 93, I'd have to go back and check. For my money, I could have gone home after Nick Cave.
Yeah, right.
He was just so good.
Yeah. Well, you didn't.
No.
Yeah, I actually bought Red Right Hand. That's the
Let Love In.
Yeah. And that was the Let Love In, was it?
Yeah. Red Right Hand is on that album.
Oh, it's the first song on the album, Let Love In. Yeah, it's the first album I bought, and then Murder Ballads.
Yep.
And then Lazarus. But anyway, I didn't really buy some of the earlier stuff, except for Young Henry. That's a beer, isn't it?
Henry's Dream.
Henry's Dream.
Look, every one of those is a worthwhile listening experience. It's not the easiest. It's not certainly not picking up listening to ABBA's greatest hits. It's at the other end of the spectrum from that sort of thing. It's always rewarding.
Yeah, we should actually go through ABBA's greatest hits at some point.
We've got to cover a whole podcast, mate.
Yeah. In 1976, Fernando was the top-selling single of that year. So, just for your information.
Yeah. Can you hear the drums?
Because back in the day, I used to work at a place called Ancol, which was at Riverwood, or near. I think it was still Riverwood, and we used to pack boxes for news agents, because they would always have to. Back in those days, you used to go to the news agents to buy all your writing equipment and the books that you write in, and we used to pack them all for the news agents. But we used to always be listening to bloody ABBA, because that's what was on the radio back in the 75, 76. Yeah, 74, 75, 76. That's when I was working there over the school holidays. It was very exciting.
Absolutely, and we'll talk about Countdown one of these days. But they were a major feature on Countdown as well.
They were indeed a regular feature, and I don't know. I can still hear the drums.
Absolutely, yeah. And the winner takes it all. Yep.
But nonetheless, they're intelligent music as well, though. When you look at how they actually compose some of the songs, and who was the guy, the piano player?
Benny and Bjorn.
Benny. I remember I can't remember what song it was, but it was going, dun, 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 and it was a Beethoven riff.
Yep.
Intelligent music.
Very intelligent, very calculated. And very successful. Good luck to them.
Yeah. But they weren't successful everywhere. But it was just interesting. They were successful in a lot of places, but not everywhere. But they were certainly very successful here, more so than
more so and earlier than most of the rest of the world. Australia broke them, and Molly Meldrum on Countdown was a big driving force there.
Yeah, he broke a lot of bands, didn't he?
Didn't he just?
And a lot of. I don't know.
Yep. Don't go there.
All right. Anything else we need to discuss about Cave that you need to tell our folks?
Look, there's an enormous wealth of stuff, and I think I would say to people, have a listen to some of the songs on the recommended list, and make up your own mind. But there's a lot of intelligent stuff in there, and it's Australian, well regarded throughout the world, and that's really. Yeah, it sounds a bit nationalistic, but it really is important, I think. And Nick Cave has been an influence on Australian music and many key artists around the world over many, many years.
But I think the thing you you know that this guy is a pretty smart cookie and a great artist because he produces amazing, he makes amazing music, he produces amazing music, he writes film scripts, he writes soundtracks. There is a person that is a multi-talented person. So you know that and it's a big brain.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Very interesting. And I'll get a couple of songs from the Tigerlilies up on the playlist, up on the recommended songs as well for you to have a listen to, because I think you'll find that interesting. And I think we might call it quits there, Mick.
Yep.
All right, and we'll see you next time. Thanks very much, everybody. See you.